Okay, I don't have many followers, so I'm not sure who this is going to reach out to, but regarding the case of the 4 Idaho students that were slain and the arrest that was made, I used to be friends with Bryan Kohberger during my middle and high school years. And then before anyone comes at me and says that I'm just running for clout, I'm not. I have pictures that I will show you. I have screenshots that I will show you. I have yearbook pictures that I show you. I went to school with the kid. I was friends with him. I wouldn't make something like this up. I am just an absolute shock right now. I was heading to lunch when my mom called me, and immediately I knew something was off because I have the type of family that we don't call each other. So if someone does call someone, we know something's bad. She called me and asked me about the murders. I didn't know where she was going with it until she said that it was Bryan Kohberger, and naturally I freaked out and called about 8 of my friends. My brother was really good friends with him. My other friend Brandon was really good friends with him. I'm gonna have a picture of him with him on the green screen as well. I'm shaking still, but anyway, let me show you. This is Brandon, the one I was just talking about. That's his wife, Brianna, and that's me. This was back in 2017. Obviously, that's Bryan. Still has the dead face that it's the eyes. I don't know. But when I spoke to him back in 2017, he was clean. He was a heavy heroin user back in high school, and it was just nice to see the kid clean up. And at that time, he said he was doing security detail. I believe it was out of school is what he told me. But he seemed like he was better. Obviously, that wasn't true. Here's another picture from a party that we had at Brandon's house. That's Bryan there. He used to be a bigger kid as well. But again, that's him. And then at the same wedding, I'm here, but he's back there. He was sitting at the same table as me and my mother. But he is back there enjoying a drink. I was sitting right next to him. We talked. He seemed fine. My mom sent me the old school yearbook. That was him. Bryan Kohberger, that's him. He went to Pleasant Valley. Graduated with, I think, my friend Christopher, a year younger than me. This is when he nonchalantly decided to make me drive him around the Poconos for heroin, and I had no idea. I thought I was just doing a nice deed because he needed something, and it turns out that he was getting heroin. Sorry, my voice is shaking. I might make a part 2. I probably have to. I don't have a 6-minute feature. I only have a 3-minute feature. I also talk really fast, so I'm sorry. More on this. I don't really know what to say in this situation because it's so fucking crazy. I'm not trying to put any names out there. I'm not trying to get my friends involved, but it's crazy when you sit there and you realize that the person that was in your parents' home, in your friend's home, you were in their car, you were in his house. I knew his mom. She was a substitute teacher at Pleasant Valley. It's crazy to think that, I don't know. It's again, he obviously no longer has a Facebook, but they still allow you to filter old messages. Here's something. I invited him to a party back in 2014. He seemed fine. It's crazy just what can switch in someone's brain. Again, after the whole heroin incident, I didn't know that he was literally making me drive to get him heroin until Brandon told me. So I messaged him a pretty rotten message just because I was pissed. I didn't know there was fucking heroin in my car. But this was, again, 2013. I was 2 years, graduated from high school. He then said he was in rehab. He would randomly message me after that. This is him mentioning he wanted to study criminal justice. Again, back in 2013, he was already hoping to do that, and then that obviously fell through because he said he went to rehab. But apparently he went back at it, and again, in 2017, that's when it seemed like everything was fine, and he was doing great for himself. So it was kind of crazy that this fucking happened. But yeah, this is also talking about, hanging out with Bryan, chilling with them, and then Brandon said they're not friends anymore, and this happened a lot because of what he was doing. his addiction, and he had some anger issues. I know he did kickboxing to kind of help with that, but again, I wish I had more pictures. I'm sure I have plenty from MySpace days, but for some reason I cannot get onto my MySpace. When I click to search, it just gives me like broken photos, and I'm sure I had more pictures with him because, again, I did a lot with him. We hiked a mountain by my parents' house together. He mentioned that in one of the messages I had with him. Again, I'm so sorry if this is really fast. I don't really know what to say. This never happened to me before. I really didn't have old friend of a murderer on my 2022 bingo list. So yeah, that's him. So someone had commented and said that what does something that you knew about him 5 to 10 years ago have to do with anything? The point of the matter is the police want anyone who knew him to reach out to try to get an idea of who he was, regardless of if it was 5 to 10 years ago or 3 minutes ago. Like, they want to know. They want to be able to piece it together. And even if it doesn't really help them because it's that long ago, at the end of the day, I knew him. I was friends with him. And I'm not trying to turn this into a whole, I knew him, oh my God. Nothing like that. I want to be able to get my statement across. I want to be able to show my story, tell my story. I want my friends to be able to tell my story. I want my brother to, my mom to, which, by the way, my mom and my brother both had called the tip line and gave them their statements. I have a whole freaking novel typed out in my freaking email with the screenshots, which are like 25, by the way. I just want to be able to make sure that I don't know how to explain it. I just want to be able to make sure that I can convey what I know. If it helps or if it doesn't. At the end of the day, there are 4 victims who were brutally murdered. Their families, their friends, they want answers, and I have answers. Maybe not of why he did it, but I know who he was, and I just want to be able to, I don't know. And then someone else said I might get subpoenaed because of the video. Fuck it. Send me a subpoena. I'll make my statement. I'll look him dead in the eye and tell him what a piece of shit he is. He can rot in fucking hell. And then, is it only these 4 people that he killed? I don't know. At the end of the day, it's terrifying, and I'm gonna need more than melatonin to sleep tonight. Definitely. Beats me because, thankful I invited him to a party in 2014. He's like, I love you guys. Always will, even if we stop talking one day. That scares me for some reason. It should put me at peace, should put me at ease, but I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know.